Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev.
Good morning.
Morning, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever time you're listening to this. Thanks for being
Good.
here.
That's right. Good day.
Good day. That's all we have. Have a great one. How's it going, Beverly?
It's going really good, actually. I've been really, even though we've had a lot of wind lately, I've been really out there playing in the, clearing up some spots because it's going to probably sound strange to some people, but everything talks to us. Like everything talks to us. I've had bees get up in my face and I know they wanted water. I mean, I knew I had a strong desire within myself. They want water. And I remember telling someone else, I'm like, because they're getting in his face too. I'm like, they want water. And he's like, I know. And I said, well, we need to, find a way for us to put water out so it's away from our animals and stuff because it's going to draw a lot. So I've been kind of going through this process. I'm going to go out and buy a Russian sage bush because I know those do great for drawing. My bees loved them when I had a bush in another property like that. And I got a butterfly bush and a few different things because we driving out where I'm at, I'm about 20 miles, 15 miles out of town, and there's a lot of cattle running around. It's a free range, and there's a lot of cattle that looks pretty rough. Like that they haven't had it, there has not been enough water. And it's like I kind of go into my space a lot of times. So I'm like, there'll be plenty. And I know there is, but for whatever reason, it's not being, they're used to being fed or used to having more around and there's not the greenery and stuff. So my desires in life have changed because I want to be able to help. But it's like I hear this communication. So it's like, okay, it's like they get all up in my face. Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, they're like all over me. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I'm taking care of it. I already had a list. So that's what I've been doing. I went and bought some plants and had them set out. I went and bought a bird bath and then set it out with water in it. So, and it's in a secured area so cats can't get to it, the dogs, cows. And I've got everything in there. Not that I don't want the cows to get to the water, but they have water supply around. But I'm trying to help out. I'm not trying to do anything more than like change the ecosystem or anything like that, but I'm just trying to assist because I feel that this is a communication that I'm receiving, which I laugh about it because to me it sounds so silly in so many ways, but we're all energy. Everything is energy. The rocks are energy. I mean, everything's energy. The earth is. We're all energy. We're all connected to each other. So it's like I'm getting these things, and the more that I'm doing it, the more excited I get. Like the hummingbirds are showing up, and this morning I'm sitting out there because they hadn't been. I've had two hummingbird feeders hanging out for probably the last couple of weeks, and I saw one the other day. Like it must have been just like driving through, flying through, and it stopped by. And then this morning I'm sitting out there and one comes over and flies like within a few feet from me. And it's like, I know that they're telling me thank you because this is like a part, this is on their path for them to stop to be able to get a drink or food or whatever. So it's just kind of awesome. The more that we listen, the more that we hear. So you asked a loaded question.
We're gonna change your name to Mrs. Doolittle.
Probably because but this goes back to following your passion, right? And I realize this. I'm excited. I've had this time off since my birthday, so since the 15th I've been off, and I've just really been enjoying myself on a daily basis. There's been some things that have come up, but it's like that's life, and it's just a matter of my perspective. How much energy do I want to put into this situation, circumstance, or person, or whatever? And it's been such a joyful journey for me, really has. And how's your day?
Well, just talking about joyful journeys. My son and his girlfriend have, I've been talking about this off and on, that they got an RV and they got a trailer to pull behind it to put the small Jeep on it. And they pulled out this morning. So on
Awesome.
a new adventure, right? And they're doing something similar. I mean, similar to you. Like they're just, this is what they want to do right now. And
yeah,
they're choosing to go travel. They have online businesses that, as long as they got Wi-Fi, they'll be okay. It's probably like the rest of us, right? We just choose to stay in our homes to do it. and they're choosing to travel and do it. And so, yeah, just, what do you want to do right now?
It's true. And it changes, and that's all right.
Yeah. And
But no, I'm loving it.
he's been one of my greatest teachers in that. There's actually been two people who have helped me with that. Um, but to, what, I want to do this right now. Okay, I've had my fill. I'm going to move on to this. Okay, got what I need from there. I'm going to move on to this. So it's been, for him, it's mainly been through his jobs and just learning what he needs to learn. And then, okay, I feel like I've gotten what I need from this position. It's not that I want to be here the rest of my life. It's not that I want to climb the corporate ladder. I needed some knowledge. I needed some information to help me grow. And by doing that, now he's, buying and selling land. And they have an online bookkeeping service. And so just got what he needed in the moment.
Exactly.
And move
then
on.
he listened to his intuition. Yeah, his intuition is what guided him. It's
Yeah.
not our thinking, it's our intuition. It's that guide that says, like, that this is it.
Yep. And in my case, just recently, there's I'm in a mastermind group, and there's a lady in our group who's doing a book writing challenge, 5-day challenge. Of course, that's going to lead into a course and on and on. But the whole idea is at least get started with a book. And I saw it, and I'm like, man, I already have enough on my plate. But this has been something that's been calling me for several years. So it's like, by keeping the information within myself, I'm not truly being of service to other people. Right. So, it's a responsibility. And one of the things that's I've heard so many times is the place that has billions of dollars stashed, something along those lines, is a cemetery. Because all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas never got to it, transitioned, right? And, it's like we all have this information and knowledge and wisdom that we could be sharing. I've told, there's a lady I know, her life, she tells stories that you just can't make that shit up, and I'm like, you should be writing like a fiction series about your life. I mean, of course, change the names for characters and stuff, but this would be pretty entertaining information. Oh no, and then there's somebody else that, there's another friend of mine that she's older, and I've told her the same thing. I'm like, you should really be writing a book about your life in some way. And not doing it.
You're seed planting. That's what you're doing right now.
So,
you're just part of the seed planting.
So I'm like, it's probably time that I do mine, because otherwise I'm just keeping it inside me, and then it's nagging. That's the part of the procrastination.
Oh yeah.
The nagging, like it's still there, and it's like, hello. And of course, the universe always sending us 5-day challenge. Somebody's talking about this. Somebody else over here wrote a book. Like, I had a friend over the weekend. Oh, my book's going to be published in August. I'm like, that's great. It's just like, but I've had a few people in my life do that. Like, they've already got their books published. And I'm thinking, man, the time that I've had, I mean, especially like 2020, how much time did people have in 2020? And instead of doing something like that to share your information with the world, it's, I'm just going to sit here and watch Netflix and eat whatever, ice cream. It used to be bonbons, but I don't think that's as popular anymore. But so, but I spent my 2020 learning about technology and programs and apps, and I sit here now, I'm thinking, man, if I would have spent 2020 doing a book, where would I be right now? right? How far along would I be right now? But I know things happen in for a reason, and I'm not regretting it in any way, but it's the thought that I had chunks of time where I just didn't do anything. And
Maybe
it's
that was
okay.
all you were supposed to, maybe that was all you were supposed to do.
Right. And I get that. And I'm just, it's just a looking back type of thing.
Yeah.
Like there was this whole, weekend I could have been writing or progressing in some direction. But there are days that I'm just like, whew, I just need to rest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of days that I'm thinking, there's something productive I could be doing right now. But a book wasn't on that radar. And so if the book's not on the radar, even though it's in the back of my head, it's not on the radar, like it's not an immediate thought because it's not in the forefront of my thinking. So it's not done, but I already have an outline. So it was interesting though, because I was actually listening to the lady who's doing the challenge, and I had to pause the video because I got a complete 2-page download.
Nice.
And I was eating my lunch while I was listening to her. I'm like, had to put my food aside, stop the video, and I just started writing and writing and writing. And so it was like, that's a start, right? And so from here,
It
just
is.
going. So it's further along than what I have been. And I'm okay with that.
Well, you think about it. So we've talked before about when we're giving people advice, like you should write that book. You're still planting seeds for them, but you're planting seeds for yourself.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
like a reminder for yourself for doing these things. And then now you're open for it. You're already doing. I haven't listened to this one. We've talked about it. I was actually looking at this morning. It's like, oh man, today's Tuesday already. It started yesterday.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, and I meant to do it yesterday, but there was just a lot of things. I got caught up doing stuff outside, and then
Well,
was exhausted.
here's what I want to tell you because this is the way the universe works. I shared that information with you last week, and I
Yeah.
emailed it to you, right?
Yep.
And I knew for me, I wanted to, not that I needed to, but I wanted to now listen to this from a space of being ready.
Yeah.
Because all the other times I've listened was just from the space of an idea. Now it's a space of I'm ready. And I sent you the information. I signed up, and then a few days later, like a day or two later, I got another email from somebody else doing or promoting their book writing course. Like once you
Nice.
open the door, it just comes. Like you can,
Uh,
we also, I know for me, I have to be, remind myself that I have other stuff going on that needs my attention as well, because I could be listening to 5 different book writing people, right? And
yeah.
consume my time with just that. And then I'm going to get aggravated with myself because I got distracted with that and didn't tend to the things that's actually moving my business right now. So it's being mindful. When you ask the universe, it internally doesn't even have to be out loud. You open the door, oh my gosh, right? It just starts coming in. So I've had that happen with material things recently. I'm like, man, I kind of like to have, probably for about a year now, I'm like, I would like to have some, a lighting set up. So when I'm ready to do video recordings or just need to do like a quick little photo shoot or something, that I'd have the lighting and just needed space to do the photos. Hey mom, we're getting rid of all our stuff. You want my lighting? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I was so excited. So now I have this big huge light ring. I have the the umbrella lights. Like, all right, I need a photographer. Of course, you just use your phone, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Because that's how it's going to be from my side of things when we do it. It's just through a phone. That's why I told her, like, well, the camera doesn't work. Doesn't matter. The phones these days are better than the
Oh my
cameras.
gosh, seriously.
So why spend that kind of money on something? Because you can still go get it printed out or whatever. It's like, I've got this, my phone that I have now has like this, it's the state of the art camera system. Do I ever use it? Hardly ever, hardly ever. But it's like it will be, because
Yeah.
I have it. So it's like it's an awesome technology. A lot of stuff that you learned last year that you're incorporating now into
Oh,
your business.
absolutely. And I know, like last year, that's why I said I don't have any regrets about last year, because I learned so much. I learned a lot. And so, and then just planting the, what do I want? What do I desire? What would I like to have material wise, right? What would help me in with my business? So, for business person who has website or other things, you need your headshots, and you need some playful photographs, and people want to see you on your website, and not all the photos that you purchase and of other people, right? They want to see you. And so I was like, man, and wow, there you go. I have lighting. I have a whole lighting setup.
That's so awesome.
Like,
That's awesome.
well, another thing, it happened a couple months ago. When you're doing Zoom or any like Facebook Lives and stuff like that, the recommendation is that you're plugged in directly to your internet instead of doing the Wi-Fi. Okay,
Gotcha.
because I mean, even we have experience that I've gotten dropped on my Wi-Fi and all that, and I'm like, man, I wonder what I need to do to get that done, and yada yada yada. So we were having, I kept getting dropped. Like, it wouldn't matter if it was during the day or in the evening. I was just kept getting dropped. So I made enough complaints that the phone company came out, and he looked at it and did this, did that, and I was like, great. I said, what is it going to take to move my internet stuff from that room to this room? He goes, just got to move it. I guess got to activate the wall plug and move it. Seriously? It's that simple? He's like, yeah. Like, would you do it? So, I mean, it was done.
Nice.
So it's fun when we open ourselves up and ask for what we desire and allow it to come. Like, I could have told my son, oh no, yeah, I can't take that from you. It's okay. Maybe somebody else could use it. And then I would have to fork out how many dollars to buy it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, yes, please. Thank you. I'll hang on to that for you.
That's awesome.
So it's just fun. It's just fun.
It is fun. And another experience is like just experiencing the things that I've experienced in my life so far, that I have a friend that my mom passed like 6 years ago, and well, her dad passed like 5 years ago, and we were talking about stuff. And it's like it's not like a victim state where you're like in this place of being, a victim, and you're sad and like, woe is me and all this stuff. But you have such a different knowledge. You have just such different guidance from your own personal experiences, which we've talked about. We talk about this stuff too, how there is such value in these experiences that we've had for others. And that's why getting it out there. And she was talking and stuff. And it's like, I realized something, like when we think that we lost someone, the only person that got lost was us. That's what happened. It was such with it. When I wrote that out, I was like, that's good. Because to me, it finally was a realization. It wasn't that those persons were lost from me. I got lost. And I'll tell you what, since I've been in this different space, there has been some crazy, I've smelled wrong, which is not, I'm like, why would you show up like that? That's what I asked them. I'm like, you could show up a million ways. I've smelled cigarettes on, I don't even know how many occasions now. Like, it's like all the time. I can be driving my vehicle and I'm smelling a cigarette. And that was not a habit to smoke in my truck, because I don't smoke. So it's like he didn't smoke in my truck, but he is these days. So it's just kind of funny. And it's kind of funny how things kind of show up. Like, it's just like I don't know. It's just like everything. It just kind of helps you trust the flow of the whole universe thing. It's like, because we're all connected, all of us. Like it's just it's such an amazing feeling. I'm in such a different space than I was. Everything just feels good. Everything just feels different. I have such a different understanding. And it's funny because you talk about downloads. I can be watching, we watched The Kingsman. I don't know if you've ever watched that. It's kind of, there's like a lot of violence in it, but I'll watch certain movies and all of a sudden I'll get a download during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it was nothing more than me to see that we watched a cartoon recently. Same thing happened. So there's like, maybe it's just the opportunity for something to come in at that time. Maybe it was through the tones that were being used on that show or whatever it was, but it blows my mind how we can be so present and recognize those when they're coming in. Just like you with your writing in it, because I've experienced that kind of stuff too. It's like, oh my God, and you can't stop. Because it's a passion thing. It's like, you got to do it right now. It's
Right.
not, and I think you got to do it. It's not like a work or a gotta or anything. It's just like, there's something inside of you just wants to flow from you, and you're not going to stop it. You're going to allow it to flow. It's
And
just
a
it's an awesome place.
lot of times, well, before, because my quiet space was in the car, is when I was driving, that's when I would get my downloads. So
Oh, gotcha.
now, like you're saying, my husband's a movie buff, so we watch all kinds of movies. And so if I get a download, I got my phone right next to me. I'll make a note on my notepad, right? At least
Yeah.
something that's going to help me remember what was coming to me. But like yesterday, I'm sitting here eating, just watching a video, and she's talking about book writing. She wasn't even talking about a layout or anything. She was just talking about setting up your space of, where it's going to be more magical for you to sit and write, and you're comfortable, and it was almost like getting set up for a nice yummy bath. It's like set up a nice yummy place, whether it's on your bed or in a corner on your desk, like really light a candle, just really making it a great atmosphere to sit and write. And that's what she was talking about. And I was like, oh shit, pause, food's aside, and I'm just like writing and writing and writing. And it was like, wow, yeah. And that's important because we are being inspired. So inspired is in spirit, meaning spirit is connecting to us, and it's like the information's flowing. I go this way because I feel like a download from universe, source, bringing my hand from the top of my head and down into my heart. What happens is when we don't take those moments to at least make some kind of notation so we can remember it later, is it's in the moment. Spirit only operates in the moment. So that download is for right here, right now. And because if you don't do something right here, right now, at least so you can remember to jot more down later, just like your dreams. When you wake up from a dream, you're laying there, you're just like, oh my gosh, that was the craziest dream. But as soon as you sit up or put your feet on the floor or stand up, gone. For most people. And that's why it's important to, if you're trying to receive information through dreams, if you're asking for help and guidance through your dreams or through your sleep state, connecting to spirits, through, maybe you're connecting with your loved ones who's transitioned through your sleep state, that when you have a pen and paper next to your bed, so that when you come out of that and wake up, you can jot down some notes. You don't have to jot down the whole story, just some quick notes so that you remember what you experienced. So then later, if you want to make 3, 4, 5 pages of what you experienced in more detail, then you can. Otherwise it's gone.
Yeah, you can record it too if you have like one of those little handheld recorders right off the side of the bed. They're tiny and they have such amazing things these days, because if you're going to tell someone any part of it, oh yeah,
right, you can if you don't want to look at yourself, then just point it at your elbow, your shoulder or something, right? Just your cheek. Yeah. At least record something. You can do that while you're driving.
And that's something else too. The crazy, we say ask, right? It's just, everything's really about asking and being open, because then you can receive. And it's like even the dreams when they don't make sense, because I've had some real like crazy dreams. Now I'm getting to the point where like I wonder what they're trying to tell me. I wonder what the meaning is behind this. Where, you know, I'm asking for more information instead of being like, oh yeah, well this happened. Because we don't realize it. I mean, I didn't realize it when we're talking about this stuff. We're like so matter of fact, and this is what happened in the dream. Oh, and but we're not asking, I wonder why. I wonder why that was showing up for me like that, or which I do a lot. I've got it written on my board across from me. I've got a vision board across from me, so we write stuff on it. And one of the bottom things it says, "What is this teaching me?" Which constantly reminds me, no matter if it's a good thing, bad, you know, what I might perceive as negative energy or positive energy, I'm asking each time, "What is it teaching me?" Oh, I wonder what this is teaching me. I wonder why I'm showing up in this experience right now. I wonder why this is showing up for me today. I mean, so it's like it's just a I am a lot more open, I guess. And that's probably what's helped everything else kind of flow forward. Happy. I think I'm laughing like all the time. I mean, I'm laughing
Oh,
about the
I am
silliest
too.
thing all day,
I am too.
all day.
I am too. Out in public, I don't care. I laugh. It's not a it's a boisterous laugh because I just think it's so funny. Um and how many times have you been out in public when somebody else laughs loudly and did you just you at least giggle or puts a smile on your face or it makes you laugh out loud too. And so absolutely that laughter, let it flow.
Just like babies, right? It's
Oh,
contagious. Oh
so
my God. Yeah.
yeah. So I said that, my downloads would come when I was driving because there would be times that I like quiet time. And I know like in my vehicle, just turn the radio off. I could drive hundreds of miles with no music, no nothing, and just be with me, right?
Hmm.
And so I actually did this one time. I drove from about 2 hours and I had one of those handheld recorders, not my phone, but an actual recorder. And I just recorded myself from here all the way 2 hours. And it just let it flowed. It just flowed. And now I could actually take what I did, have it transcribed from voice to text, and I probably have a book right there already done.
Oh yeah. I was just thinking, man, you should totally listen to that again or totally play that out because you might be like, holy crap. And how long ago was this?
It's probably been a year or two.
You might you might hear things that you've already accomplished, like mission accomplished. Check that off the list. There might be so many things that you because you're in that flow of spirit, right?
Um,
That inspiration. So it's like it's flowing to you. It happens, I would say most of the time when I'm in that space, I don't hear what's being said. So it's awesome that you recorded it. So we almost probably could do that all the time because I don't always like if I'm working with someone, I don't remember, like don't expect me to remember what I just told you because this isn't my information for me. This is for you.
oh, for
Except
sure.
for, yeah, except for whatever we remember. But it's like if we're talking like that and we're in that flow, I'm not always in the space of I'm open, so I'm not in the space of listening and analyzing and processing. I'm just in the space of flow, right? So that's awesome.
And that happens all the time when I'm teaching classes or doing a
Yeah.
one-on-one. And I will tell them at the very beginning of the class, take notes because things come to me and I say things and I don't remember what I said. And it's not because I have a memory issue. It's because, like you said, it's flowing information. Again, it's a download of information that's coming to me and through me. That's like I will actually be speaking and wonder where is this coming from? Because this is not something I would say, right? And I can tell you, there's been every class. They're like, "Can you repeat that? Uh, what did I say? What was it about? Remind me, because I
Yes.
don't know what I said, right?" Yeah, allowing the information to flow, and that's what writers do. Wayne Dyer did that. He talks about it. He says, he would just sit down at his desk and write, and it was just information that was coming to and through him. And one time he said that he was writing so fast that he was writing and he was just letting the paper fall on the floor. And he goes, that was okay until I realized I didn't number the pages.
That's funny. Don't need this one right now.
So I had to go back, right, and figure out which page went after which page, you know. And so artists, when they're in that flow of drawing or painting, that's their download. That's them connecting to that's their meditation practice. That's their focus moment. That's their download. And people are very gifted in that sense when they get in that space.
It's awesome. And
And
so as you're saying this, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I recognize that even like doing this 2-page process, that had I got halfway through it and somebody would have interrupted me, it would have been difficult for me to come back to it and be back in that flow.
I agree.
Because now I'm looking at it going, okay, well, what was the next thing I was going to write? And could I get back into a meditative state and allow that yeah, it's going to take, probably going to take me a minute or so. It's going to take a bit to get in that same space where if you can, and you're in it, complete as much as you can without like getting up, like pen to paper. It's almost like automatic writing. So if you know anything about that, that when you do automatic writing, that's the same basis of allowing information to flow to you from spirit through you. And even you put your pen to paper. So if you're asking, let's just say you're asking for help and guidance in, you know, your career choice, that, you know, spirit, please guide me in my next career choice, or where am I going with this career, or is this career I should be in, whatever your question is. And you put your pen to paper and you just write. And even if you just are doing circles on the paper, you don't pick up your pen. You just keep moving your hand and the pen to the paper. You could be drawing something, you could be writing something, but you just keep the pen moving and don't stop. It's not a stop and, right? This is for automatic writing purposes. And just keep that pen moving. And then a lot of times, if you're connected and you're allowing things to flow, your answer will come. And a lot of times it's going to be in a type of language that, or verbiage, that you wouldn't necessarily use. So then, you know, it's confirmation from that, but you can tell by the words or the way the flow is of the words that this is spirit speaking through you. It's not your head putting the answer on the paper. So I have a teacher and mentor who said she knows that when the message is coming from spirit, that it begins with, hello, dear one. She's like, I don't write like that. That's not something I would say ever, even writing a letter, right? So something like that is a signal like, oh, okay, this is spirit. But at the same time, when you're doing the automatic writing, you're it's similar to me teaching. Like, I know I said the words, but I don't remember. I know it's not coming from me in my head and my thoughts. It's coming from through spirit. So you may or may not know what you're writing in the moment, but when you go back and read it when you're done, you'll be like, wow, that came through me. And that's the same thing. That's again, that's what some writers will do. Wayne Dyer talked about it many times, that he gets connected to spirit and the book was not his. The book came through him. And that's why he would just sit and write, because it was just that flow of the information coming through him. And then like he would go back and read it. Like he didn't really know what he was writing either. in a sense, you know what you're writing, but in a sense, you don't know what you're writing, which is really wild. And then you go back and read it and you're just like, oh my God, I just wrote that. That is so cool. So have you heard of that, or have you experienced it?
Yes, yes, on both accounts. It's, and you know, it's, we call spirit, but it's also the collective consciousness that we're tying into. And then it makes me think of, you got the Hollywood medium that scribbles, because that's part of his that's part of his process of getting connected to the collective consciousness. The Long Island medium, she does the same thing. She would sit there and, you know,
Yeah.
start doing a circle or whatever, and then she'd write a few things down that came through because she's allowing that flow. That, which is an awesome thing, which we all can do. Everybody can do. It's just a matter of getting into that space of receiving. It was also making me think about, I was talking to my, because we talked about your son, going through different things and different jobs and all this other stuff. And I heard my daughter recently say something, one of my daughters recently say something, well, I want to do this, but then I don't want to do that anymore. And it's like I said, but it's not that you don't want to do it. You don't have the passion for it, but you went and tried it. You went and experienced it. You went and looked at it for a little bit. And then, you started figuring out what you did want and what you didn't want. And it's like, it's just honoring that passion. It's honoring that flow. It's honoring that connection to the collective consciousness. Because I feel like I feel like we can do anything we want to do. And that's what she says, well, I could do anything. I said, yeah, we could do anything, but do we want to do it? And that's where it's just getting to the point where we're asking ourselves these questions. And then I think it's awesome. I've really sat down before and started writing stuff and scribbling stuff, and I've had the flow of information come through me that way too. And it happens to me when I'm talking to people. It's like, where the hell? It's just like the saying, oh, you didn't lose somebody, you got lost.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't die, you died. A part of you ended right then. That's where the death is, because there is no death. So it's interesting how the information flows. And like you said, most often I don't really hear it as I'm saying it, even as I'm writing it, but when I go back and look at it or listen to it, like when I think about, and it's not that I wasn't coherent at that time, because then if I sat back and reflect about what the conversation was about, then I realized the stuff that was for me. I realized that was a message for me. I need to not get on. See, I don't need to do anything. That's just planting a seed for me that I'm going to be doing in the future. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how all this information flows and you don't recognize it. If we weren't in a time and space right now where things have slowed down quite a bit and jobs have changed, and I keep hearing people unhappily saying how, this person's staying at home, nobody wants to work and stuff. And it's like, well, we're in a space we're in a very, very huge transition area of all of our lives. And a lot of people are leaving their physical beings at this time they could probably do more from the other side, or maybe they're going to bounce right back in another child or something like that that's coming in. It's interesting, but we're in this huge space of growth. It's so huge, and there's going to be people, because they don't like change, and they're so used to doing the same thing over and over and over again. Not being happy going to a job, and that's what they think they have to do. You have to work hard, and it's like, that's not, in my belief. I was a hard worker. I don't think it has to be that way.
Right.
I think that I can do so much more by us doing these videos, by writing the books, by being aware out there, putting positive information out there. I think there's so much more in doing that stuff, just being. It's even less than being now. I just posted a post, and it's like, it really, really caught me. I was talking about, going through all this growth and stuff, and how to recognize kind of where you're at on these changes. And it's like, I've been in the being space a little bit more lately, but I also feel that it's flowing to a more connected space, which is more than just being. Mm-hmm. Responsible for energy, right? There's some, everyone's like, well, you got to go out and do this. And it's like, no, I don't. I don't. And it's changed things. Like, I have a time frame. I'm going to be doing massage now, probably till May of next year. That's it. If something comes up before then, that I end up cutting it off completely. But it's like, I know this is, it's one of those things, like I know. I just know, because I'm ready for this next phase, whatever's coming in right now, because I'm more of a benefit to many than can be to just one-on-one.
Oh yeah, it's more effective in groups.
And I think everyone else is going to start recognizing their stuff too. It's like we're just in a huge transition place, and it can be scary to some that want to control everything. And I recognize my control still. It still pops up where I want things to go a certain way, and then I laugh at myself. I'm like, oh, there you go again, trying to control. Or if I see somebody doing something, because you said something recently, no matter what, if I'm looking at someone admiring them, or I'm looking at them and finding disgust with them, I'm judging. Either way, I'm judging. And I play like a game with myself, like, oh, you were just judging. And it's like, I don't know how that would feel differently. I just kind of pay attention to how things feel. Like even the statements, like we were talking about writing a book, sit with that. If you're sitting by yourself and you've had like a thought a few times about writing a book, sit with that and then say, I'm going to write a book, and see how it feels in your body. See how it shows up. Do you feel like an anxiety? Do you feel like an urgency? Do you feel excited about, like, pay attention to, if people would slow down and listen, or listen to themselves, but just say what you think that you want, you might find out that what you think you want, you don't want at all. And it might, okay, if that's not what I wanted, then what's best for me? I mean, what's going to be the thing that, like, I have such great passion for? And to me, now I'm at a point where it's just passion for life. It's not a passion for any one thing. It's just passion for life. All forms.
Yep. And it's very common, using the book writing as the free flowing example, that the first book is the hardest, because it's the barriers we're walking through. I'm not good enough to be writing a book. There's not gonna be enough people to buy my book. Who am I to write a book about this, right? When there's so many other people who have already done it. And so it's like when you get through those barriers and you get it done, get the book, get it published, then the walls have disappeared. And so then you're even more open. So there's a writer I just listened to this morning too. She said, the first book was my hardest, and I've written 9 books in 11 years.
Awesome.
Because we've opened that door, right? We open the door to say, I can do this. And it's not the person you are before you do it, it's the person you are after you do it. It's like anything else in life. There are storms that we walk through, and we look back and you're just like, I know I have. I'm like, I don't know how I got through that. I have no idea how I got through that, but I did. And now I feel like I'm even more incredible than I was.
Exactly.
Right. So it's the same with these authors, is they write their first book, and their first book is the most difficult because of the storms they have to walk through, the stories, right? Reprogramming the stories that even they were telling themselves, to get through all of that, the healing processes that happened during them writing the book, and moving through all that and getting the book done, and then it be more incredible than they ever imagined. And then bam, 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 book after book after book comes out, because we're removing the obstacles in our path. So it'd be the same with, your finances, career, relationships, health. Let's get through the obstacles. You can go over them, under them, around them, through them, whatever, climbing over, whatever it takes to get around the obstacles that are keeping you stuck. And when you're stuck, it's just the fact that you're not willing to move or do anything different. And once you get through around those obstacles, the obstacles being your mindset, your emotions, how you're speaking, how your actions, all of it. It's like reprogramming the way you are operating that's keeping you stuck, so that you can be open to receive the guidance to get you moving in a direction that is going to, that feels good. That's really what we need to know, is that it feels good. The direction I'm moving feels good. People climb the corporate ladder for the money. or for the status, for the ego. But they go home and bitch about their job every single day because they're not happy. It doesn't feel good. Some people climb the corporate ladder and absolutely love it, right? It just lights them up to go to work every day and they love it. So here we are. Here we are. Either it feels good or it doesn't. And then you get to decide what you want to do.
Exactly, because it's an individual basis. We're all so unique. I mean, even though there's so many of us, really, but we're all so unique. We have our own unique ways and our own unique ways of communicating that other people can hear, because not everybody can hear the same person the same way. And sometimes we're on a different energy, vibrational frequency that we're not going to pick up from someone that's not matching you. I mean, you're not going to hear them the way you would like to. It's like, gosh, well, Amy really got it. She really figured it out. How come I'm not getting it from the same person? Don't get stuck on where it's going to come from. Just knowing that you had that experience, it's like, I can have that experience. It's just recognizing what everything is so possible for us. Something recently it's been coming up too is I recognize, and I can't tell you when the experience was or where it came from, which is fine. I don't think that I have to know exactly where it came from, but I was made to feel stupid as a kid so many times. And I'm telling you, for the longest time, it just recently, my kids are like, well, Mom, because they would have labeled you ADHD back then. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I talk slower now. And she's like, no, Mom, you really don't. You're still the same. You're still the same in a lot of ways. And she's saying all this stuff and she's telling me all this stuff. And she says, it just means that you're smart, Mom. And it's like, oh my God, it gave me goosebumps. It's like, holy crap. It's like, where'd this come from? Because I didn't think that I was stupid, but I didn't feel that I would never have labeled myself smart. It just wasn't. And now it's like I'm realizing, man, we are so much more capable of so many things. It's just like writing that first book. The only thing that's slowing you down is your stuff, or stuff that you've thought, or stuff that you created, or stuff that someone created for you. It's not even true. None of it's even real. But it's like we stay in this little area, like we think we have to be this certain way. And it's like, man, it's so different than that. I feel so lucky I don't care how old I am. I feel lucky that I'm even where I'm at right now to even have this experience, to have this knowledge. It's amazing. It's like, I ain't so bad after all.
I'm pretty good.
That's right.
Pretty good. I'm great. Yep. And still using the book writing as an example, authors, they have their stories from their perspective of their life and their research and all that. So who am I to write a self-help book when there's thousands of already written self-help books and videos and workbooks and all that, and teachers? Well, none of them have my story. Exactly. They may have a similar story, but they're not going to say it in my words. So it's me telling my story in my words, and which is going to resonate with the people that are going to be attracted to me. So people that are attracted to me may not be attracted to you. If we could write the same book, it's the energy we have in the book. And so people are going to be attracted to you. People are going to be attracted to me. And there's over 7 billion people on the planet. I think there's enough for everybody. That was the other thing. Like my son this morning before he left, he buys and sells land. And so he looked up the dollar amount in tax liens in the United States. And I'm pretty sure, I know the word started with the B, billion, and I'm pretty sure he said there was over $1.3 billion. And I just said to him, I said, so there's enough for everybody. And he goes, yeah. So we as individuals can only handle so much. Like I know for a fact that right now where I'm at, to handle 100,000 people would be way out of my league right now because I'm not ready for that. 100 people, maybe 50 people. Yeah, right. It's like the comfort zone. And then when you get that, then you grow from there and then you grow from there. Right. And that's how every speaker, every teacher has started. We start with a small group and we're like, okay, we build our confidence and then we go to a bigger group. And then you're speaking to, you know, a ballroom of people that's 500 to 1,000 people. And then, okay, well, I'm comfortable with this. And so then it's more of a, like a theater where there's probably 2,000-3,000 people, and then a stadium. Like you grow with your audience as you grow.
Exactly.
So there's enough for everybody. Absolutely. And obviously last year was a big eye opener for so many. It's a time where we need more light workers now more than ever because of this big transition we're in.
And I will tell you another thing that's kind of crazy to me, which I, you know, maybe not all massage people are light workers or whatever. And I think that all, you know, anybody that's doing energy work, which that is another form of energy work, you know, you're just actually physically working on their energy, booked. They're like everybody I've been referring to, they're booked. I'm booked out till August. They're booked out till, I mean, everybody is booked, and there's more and more people that are trying to call and get in. It's like, you
And
know,
how many massage therapists are in your area?
yeah,
There's
a lot. Yes, there is a lot. So it's just goes to show me that people's thoughts and beliefs are changing. We're kind of going away from a lot of the medical stuff because there is so much that can be done, which it all boils down to. I don't have to lay a hand on somebody. It's an energy thing. It's an emotional thing. It's like, what are you trapping? But most people don't, you know, what are you trapping in your body? But most people aren't. I shouldn't say most people. Some of the people I've encountered are not ready for that yet. They aren't ready. They're at the massage level still. They still have to have that physical touch in order to think that's how they get rid of their pain. But it's the conversations we're having during that physical touch.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the physical touch. Physical touch is an awesome thing. It's
a belief.
And they're open. The thing with massage, when you're receiving a massage, you're open to receive. Most people are open to receiving that massage. Right. All my clients are open to receiving that massage. I've had the experience on the opposite side when someone wanted to control the massage or how things were being done. My clients are open to receiving. So when you're open to receiving, it's the same thing that we've been talking about in this session, is you're allowing that information to flow through you from spirit, from the collective consciousness. Like all these questions in once.
You can definitely tell the therapist, the massage therapist, or any other person in the healing arts, if they're in it for money or if they're in it for actually helping people.
Yeah, it's true. Because I'm still below. I still don't chart. It's like I try to chart, like I try, but I get in my way. So it's like, we'll just go ahead and do this for this today. And I probably sell myself short on that, but it's like you said, it's not, for me, it's not so much about the money. It just really isn't. It's not at all. And it never has. That's what I would tell people. Because I've had clients leave and I forgot to collect from them. They get back with me, but it's like, well, we were just having a conversation. I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
And they did. So it's like, that's because wasn't the focal point.
Right. And I know the difference in me because I was one of those persons that when I started, it was about the money. Well, I need to replace the income I'm receiving. So that was the focus. But I made that the main focus. I didn't make being in service the main focus. And wisdom, I was not successful 15 years ago because money was the focus. So being a servant to money instead of being a servant to the people.
That sounds so horrible.
Yeah.
Being a servant to money, that sounds horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a servant. This piece of paper is way more important than the people in front of me. Right?
Yeah.
And now I'm wiser. I'm older and wiser with more experience, and I recognize the difference. I know the difference, and now that I know the difference, I can see it quicker in other people as well. They're working for the money. They're working because they are serving the people. So big difference. Energetically, huge difference. And people know that. I just walking in for a massage from somebody, not different from you. Walking in with somebody for a massage, just walking in, I can tell I'm a dollar sign.
Yeah, honestly, because for me, even back when I worked for a chiropractor and when I was seeing, 6 to 8 people a day, well, first of all, I was a dollar sign for them and it was rushing me through all my clients. So it's like, well, you didn't have that time. And that was another thing about, I liked working for myself because I got to pick and choose how my time was going to go, how much of a break I was going to get in between. But yeah, I wouldn't be rushing you out because there is more value to you. That's why I have sometimes my half an hour gets eaten up a little bit with a client before my next client comes in because there was a conversation, but it was a conversation to be had.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I can't just rush you out besides saying, oh, my next one is here now. I mean, I've had that happen, but it is what it is. You just spend the time with that person. And of course, and it's still no unhealthy boundaries because there's a time that things have to be, you know, set for the next client or whatever for people. But otherwise, no, I think everything is always a nice flow. If you
And
think you're behind, you're behind.
there's always people at different stages. That was the other thing,
Oh, yes.
There's people at the stages of where I was 30 years ago. There are people at stages where I was 20 years ago, right? We're all in different stages. And there are people being born constantly. So, in 20 years, it'll be 70. There's still going to be people that are going to be, seeking some services. So,
Oh, yes,
there's enough for everybody.
there is.
So, in anything, in any category, really, because it's keeping your energy in check.
It is.
And that was something. Oh, I know. I was a recent, very famous person who just released a book, big, huge launch this year. Talks about in her book that she created a product and it was selling very well, and then somebody else was able to get her formula, and so they created the same product. They didn't do as well because they were in it for their energy was for the money. Her energy was she wanted to serve people who were experiencing what she was experiencing. And right, she recognized they weren't doing good. And her products were same formula, her products were flying off the shelf, theirs were not. It was because of her energy that she was bringing to something that she so deeply believed in. They didn't believe in it like she did. They believed in the dollar because of how well she was doing. So it's like recognizing that too. This past year has created so many more entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs, and that you create your own. And if somebody comes along and uses your information, I have a mentor who said this to us, that she said, I created my information to be shared. That's why it's not still in me, it's outside of me. And I want that information to be shared because the more people it's shared with, the more lives are going to shift. Makes sense. But then you have these other people who, well, that's my content and that's my phrase and this is mine. And it's if you use it or you don't give credit for it, then you get nailed, you get fined. And it's like it's universal consciousness. No matter who it comes through, there's enough for everybody.
That's right. That is right.
But her perspective is, you know what? The more people share my information, the more people are going to be helped. Go share it. Go share it with the world. Go share it. I would like to have credit if you're going to share my content, but go share it. So There's enough.
There is.
All right. Do we do good today? I think so.
I think so. I think so too.
We covered a lot. We do this every week. In an hour, we cover a lot of stuff. Like we could break this up into probably 6 segments at least.
Hey, whatever comes through, that's just the way it is.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So they're getting a lot of information, beneficial information, valuable information in an hour. And then we show up every week and do this. So at least 52 weeks of content, 52 hours of content. So, and it's stuff that's going to be beneficial time and time again. Like it's not just right here, right now. It's
Oh, man.
for many years to come. So, and of course, we're going to evolve with it. So, that's the amazing part that we actually, for us, have it documented, right? We have these videos
Yeah.
that we could even go back and listen to and go, oh my gosh, should we say that? Really? That was so amazing.
So far.
So we thank you for being with us, listening to us, and sharing our content with people that you know that may be open to receive what we share. And if you want to connect with us, we are on Facebook. We have a business page. It's Amy and Bev. We have a group, Amy and Bev Community. And then the email is amyandbev@gmail.com. So you can also leave your questions and comments in the comment box, and we respond to them. We don't ignore you.
No, we do not.
I do delete your nasty stuff though that you post in my stuff. So just saying, I've had a few of those.
Oh, okay.
Not mean
I haven't
words.
got.
I
I
mean
haven't got to see
nasty
that.
stuff, not mean words, nasty stuff. So I'm like, oh no, you got to go.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
So thank you for being with us, and we appreciate you and your time and energy, and we just hope that we are bringing information that is making a difference in your life. So many blessings to you
Yes.
in your journey.
Have a great week and celebrate yourself.
Yeah, celebrate a lot and laugh.
Yeah, all day.
All right, my friends, have a great week.